So, morning. I'm Layla Hatia. I head up creator marketing, organic social, and PR at The Very Group. And I've got to be honest with you, speaking to you today is a very daunting prospect because I hate public speaking. I've also not been back from mat leave for very long, and we're in the midst of rewriting our creator marketing strategy. So I had no idea what I was going to talk to you about today, which is mad, because I've worked in the creator space for 12 years, doing blogger outreach in my agency days, to today where I manage a team that manages a large network of creators for Very, and we deliver large-scale commercial partnerships. Yet, imposter syndrome was so full on that I decided the only course of action was to Google the hell out of it. I contemplated a whole host of potential subjects before I came across this guy. For those of you who don't know him, which is probably everyone, this is Andrew Stanton. He is the co-writer of Toy Story, WALL-E, Finding Nemo, and A Bug's Life. It's safe to say this guy knows how to connect with an audience, which is what I was looking for help with when I found his TED Talk, The Clues to a Good Story. I was looking for advice on how to engage and connect with you today, but what I found was something much more fundamental. In his TED Talk, Andrew uses 3 words to explain the foundations of a good story, and I couldn't get these 3 words out of my head.
Probably the most greatest story commandment, which is make me care. Please, emotionally, intellectually, aesthetically, just make me care. We all know what it's like to not care. You've gone through hundreds of TV channels, just switching channel after channel, and then suddenly you actually stop on one. It's already halfway over, but something's caught you, and you're drawn in, and you care. That's not by chance. That's by design.
Make me care. As marketers, we're in essence storytellers, yet too often we lose sight of this. When output is high, resources low, we too easily forget what makes our jobs meaningful and exciting. We forget to care about our audience. These 3 words made me care. They made me stop and think and really reflect, not just about how I speak to you today, but what I speak to you about. 4 trillion hours. That's the number of hours we collectively spend on social media each year. We're not just flicking through TV channels anymore. We have an unlimited amount of content we can consume. Our search for content is rooted in our evolutionary design. We get a dopamine hit every time we find that content that entertains us, that resonates with us, that hits on a human truth, which is what I experienced when I came across this TikTok series. How many of you watch this? Oh, a few people. So this is Risa Tisa. She created a 52-part TikTok series called Who the Fuck Did I Marry? Each episode was 10 minutes long and goes into excruciating detail about how she met, dated, married, and divorced a pathological liar. I was one of millions of people who followed this story from episode 1 to episode 52. I was so captivated by it that I genuinely hid under the duvet and watched episode after episode till about 1 a.m, to my husband's utter exasperation. Why? Because she told an authentic story. She got 484 million views across 52 posts. 7 million people stayed with her from episode 1 all the way to episode 52, me being one of them. What did I learn from this, and why am I talking to you about it today? I learned that you can break the rules. Social media platforms are constantly shifting the goalposts, setting new rules, best practices for the content we must produce. But what Risa Tisa and other creators show us is when you tell a good story, when you make people care, you can create your own rules. Which is why I've distilled these 3 words into 3 approaches that can make your creator marketing strategies more impactful. Make your audience care. Make your creators care. And last but not least, make your stakeholders care. So, make your audience care. Step 1, by selecting the right creators. Dig deeper than the demographic data of your target audience and start to build a picture of the circles of influence around them. So, who does your target audience want to impress? Who do they aspire to be more like? And what are their sacred sources of information? At Very, we don't just want to hold a mirror up to our audience. They don't want to see their lives directly reflected back to them. They want aspirational content that's within reach. Understanding the circles of influence around our target audience enables us to make informed choices about the best creators to partner with. This may feel a little dummy's guide to marketing, but I've seen this step skipped too many times. Neglecting this undermines the quality of your partnerships. It lowers your return on investment, and it makes creator identification so much more laborious. So don't skip this step. Use these insights as a search filter to aid your creator identification. Step 2. This for me is so incredibly important. Make creators care. If you want your creator marketing strategy to be genuinely impactful, you need to elevate it above the purely transactional. A partnership of, I'll pay you X to create Y and share it on Z is never going to get you the best return on investment. Creator marketing works because these people have honed and nurtured their communities. We need to respect that. So how do we make creators care about our audience, our brand, and our partnership? This is the Very Network. And the way we do this at Very is through the Very Network. The Very Network is a curated group of creators who echo our brand identity and our values and help to communicate the Very offer in an authentic and engaging way. The Very Network has been in existence since 2017, and over the past 6 years it's had many iterations and evolutions. We're incredibly proud of the work that we've done with the network to make it an inclusive space that tells diverse stories, ensuring that the partnerships we have go deeper than the transactional. So make creators care by immersing yourself in their world. Once you've built that short list of creators, finalize your creator selection by immersing yourself in each creator's content. What's their style of content? What subject areas do they cover? Do they have certain types of content that outperform others? Which partnerships have felt genuine and received good engagement? Which have felt awkward and resulted in low interaction? Start to identify patterns in their engagement. Do they get more views when they speak to camera? Do they get more comments when they feature their partner in a piece of content? For example, this is Brummy Mummy of Two. She's a mid-tier creator. She doesn't have a huge following, but she has a highly engaged audience. If you think, she has 185,000 Instagram followers, but on average she gets 152,000 views on her content. And once or twice a month, she trends. She gets millions of views on videos like this one.
Oh, I like your dress.
Oh, thank you. Have a nice day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, I like your dress.
Oh, thank you. This is Sainsbury's.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, got it in the cheap sale.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Well, I wish it had pockets in it. It's never so good, isn't it?
Yeah.
I only got it for like £20. It's Sainsbury's.
Her viral posts are funny, they tell a story, and most importantly, they hit on a human truth. A brand can use this knowledge to mold their briefs, potentially opening up the opportunity for their content to trend in future. This type of desk research is time-consuming, but it's incredibly valuable. It sets your team up with an excellent knowledge of the creator before you even start working with them, which brings me on to my next point. Make creators care by collaborating. This is not a dictatorship. This is a partnership. There is no point paying thousands of pounds to a creator and then dictating what they create, how they create it. We choose to work with these individuals because they've built an audience based on their own creative instincts and life experiences. They are best placed to ideate and create content, not us. I see people neglect this on an hourly basis. This is pivotal part of strategy at Very. We never, ever hand over a brief with a long list of key messages. We have always had a collaborative approach. Creators select the brief that works best for them, and they lead the content ideation and creative direction. And our approach in FY25 is going to take this a step further. So we're bringing the creators in our network into our planning process. So we'll be hosting biannual workshops. We work with creators on a 6-month basis. So every 6 months, when we refresh our network, we will bring our creators into a planning workshop. We'll lay out what our top-line plans for that 6 months is, our priorities, our ambitions, and any relevant campaigns. And we'll get their insights on what campaigns will resonate with their audience. We'll host a brainstorming session and make them partners in our brief development process so that a brief never lands in their inbox without context. They're not just recipients of a brief, but they're partners in its creation. Finally, we make creators care by investing in them. In early 2020, we overhauled the entire Very network, but we still felt there was something missing. Our network had been running for a couple of years, but it felt disconnected. Creators delivered excellent content, but they were by no means an actual network, a team. We decided to make the network a real thing by developing a program of quarterly events purely for creators in our network to connect with us and with each other. These events were beautiful. They were bespoke and they're designed to delight. And from the very first event, we knew we'd made the right choice. I sat back and watched micro creators just emerging onto the scene, making really meaningful connections and having deep conversations with macro creators. And by nurturing the network and showing that we were invested in them, they invested in us. They wanted to protect the partnership. And we saw that come through in our added value content, which is essentially content we didn't pay for or request. That increased by 30%. We built a sense of FOMO. Creators outside the network wanted to be in it. Making creators care is vital, yet so simple. Do your research, make an informed choice about who you work with, and then invest in them. Let them see that you care and you respect what they do. And then last but not least, make your stakeholders care. Now, whether your objectives are consideration, awareness, or revenue focused, creator marketing has the potential to deliver incredible results for brands of all sizes. But you must measure the results appropriately. This is one area many of us have neglected, and I hold my hands up to this. We've relied solely on vanity metrics such as likes, views, and comments for too long. These are important and vital indicators of success. But if we want to secure long-term investment in creator marketing, we need to do more. We need to understand how our business measures success and find ways to track creator marketing in a similar vein. With the support of research agencies like Element Human or Nielsen, it is possible to measure revenue, traffic, consideration, perception shift, awareness, and emotional engagement. I'm sorry to say there's no cheap, easy, or quick way to do this, but if you want to level up your efforts in the creator space, it is something you'll need to invest in. We've learned that the long and hard way. If you work within a larger organization, you might have access to internal research and analytics teams, like we do at Very. And my advice is, make use of them. Tap them up for insights, get their support in crafting measurement frameworks, and that bring that amazing potential of creator marketing to life. Pester them to death, bribe them with baked goods, whatever you need to do to get their help. It will not only help you secure future investment, but most importantly, it will enable you to hone your strategy. You will learn every month, every week, what is working, what is not. And instead of walking away from a partnership after 6 months because something didn't work and you evaluated it too late, you're constantly constantly monitoring, checking, and you're having that dialogue with your creators to understand how you can improve the next brief and the next brief. As a brand that has been investing in the creator space for some time, we're on a mission to do better when it comes to measuring impact. We're placing a huge, huge importance on this in FY25. So, if you take anything away from this presentation, remember 3 things. Make your stakeholders care by investing in measurement. Make your creators care by investing in them. And make your audience care by centering everything you do around them. Thank you for listening to me, and thank God that's over.
Perfect timing, lady. So for someone who was very nervous, you did an outstanding job. Please put your hands together for Layla. Thank you. Thank you, Layla.
Oh, I'm
We've
done.
run out of time.
Amazing.
You did it. Well done.